Hello everybody, welcome to iExamB. Embrace the iExamB learning experience. SEBI legal notification is out and now the question is which acts to focus upon, whether to focus on phase 2 first or on phase 1. In this video, I'm going to talk about the weightage of various acts in SEBI legal exam both in phase 2 and phase 1. And this understanding will be based on the previous recruitments of 2020, 2022 and 2023. Now here if you see the exam pattern has changed. The phase 1 is still the same. Paper 1 has multiple choice questions for QRE, Quant Reasoning English and GA, and paper 2 has multiple choice questions on specialized subject, that is law subject. I have discussed the pattern multiple times, so if you have any doubts related to phase 1 pattern, you can ask them. The syllabus of phase 1 was changed. Earlier phase 1 paper 2 had all these subjects. Companies and securities law was also a part of phase 1. But then in 2023 recruitment, these were the subjects that were only there in phase 1 and these were not repeating in phase 2. Phase 1 and phase 2 topics were exclusive from each other. So whatever you study in phase 1 were relevant only for phase 1. And that is why you have a choice of selective study over here for phase 1 topics. You may choose to leave 1 or 2 topics in phase 1. Mostly I suggest students that you can leave CPC. There are 3 to 4 questions out of 15 CPC. You just need to attempt 25 to 30 questions with good accuracy, let's say 100% accuracy. You can also choose to leave Consumer Protection Act. You will see 2 or 3 questions. Let's move ahead and see how many questions have come from these acts over the past years. Remember earlier these topics were present both in phase 1 and phase 2. So these were the number of questions that came from all these topics now which are relevant only for phase 1. Here you can pause the screen, you can take a screenshot and keep this data handy with you. From the previous year papers, you can check out the level of the questions. So here you can see Constitution of India had 10% weightage and there were 9 questions from here. Indian Contract Act, Specific Relief, Partnership and Sale of Goods Act. These 4 topics had 25% weightage and you had 12 to 13 expected questions. So from this area you had 14 questions. Then CPC, Transfer of Property, Arbitration and Limitation, again 25% weightage. And from here you had 13 questions. You can see there were 4 questions from CPC and it has been less over the past years also. Then Administrative Law, Jurisprudence, Latin Terms and Maxims. This has 20% weightage. From here you had 11 questions. And then from Consumer Protection Act only 1 question, from Law of Torts 2 questions. So you can see in phase 2, paper 2, you need to get a minimum of 40 marks. To get those extra 10 marks, you can attempt 5 more questions. So you have to attempt 25, let's say 30 questions to be on the safer side. And for this, you can choose to leave out some portion. I will not advise you to leave Constitution of India. It has substantial weightage. You may choose to leave, let's say, CPC. You may also choose to leave Consumer Protection Act if you feel it is taking too much time. And you can devote more time to phase 2 topics. You can take a screenshot from here and make your own strategy. We are also starting a new batch for SEBI Grade A Legal Crash Course. The batch starts from 22nd of March. In this course, you have live classes, you have practice tests, you have study material PDF, short crisp videos, interview guidance. Everything is available to prepare for SEBI legal exam. The live class plan is present in the description below. You can download it from there and analyze it and accordingly strategize your preparation if you want to join this new batch. This is the live class plan. You can check it out. There is a small study plan using the live class topics present according to the time commitment of a working professional and non-working professional. Now, if you move to the live class plan, you will see on 22nd March, there is SEBI intro class. Then you have Arbitration and Conciliation Act. All the legal classes will be for a minimum of 2 hours depending upon the requirement of topic. So you have 1 class for Arbitration Conciliation Act. You have 1 class for Securities Law. All the 3 acts, SEBI Act, SCR and Depository. Trust me, this class is going to be for 3 hours. In 3 hours, in 1 class, we'll be covering all the 3 topics and then you can go back and revise during a holy weekend. Then you have Indian Contract Act and Transfer of Property in the 2nd week and your QRE classes will also simultaneously start from 26th of March. Quantitative aptitude classes will start from week 2. You have Partnership Act, Indian Contract Act, 2 SEBI rules to be studied, Specific Relief and LLP. And then you have Administrative Law, Sales of Goods, IBC in the week 3 and simultaneously your QRE classes. You will also get these live class recordings in case you miss any of the classes. Then in week 4, we'll move to jurisprudence interpretation, IBC, prohibition of unfair trade practices, takeover code. This will be discussed in week 4. On 13th April, we will get the recruitment, the detailed notification, and then we'll have much more clarity on the syllabus related to criminal laws. So classes for CRPC and IPC will be added after 13th of April. Then you have Companies Act starting from week 5. As the exam is expected somewhere in June, we are trying to cover majority of the phase 2 syllabus by mid-May, so that after mid-May you can focus entirely on your phase 1. So every week phase 1, phase 2 topics are going on together. After 15-20th May, depending upon the exam date, you can entirely focus on your phase 1 revision and practice, and then you can come back to phase 2 after your phase 1. So in this way, we have planned this class schedule. You can check it out in detail. We are hoping to take up all the major doubts. You will also find study material PDFs, lot of practice tests in the form of MCQ booklets and descriptive questions in the course. So if you are interested, you can reach out to us on this number. Now coming to phase 2 topics. In phase 2, you have 2 papers. Paper 1 is descriptive English. Paper 2 is objective plus descriptive legal. 70 MCQs of objective type and 3 descriptive questions of 10 marks each. This is your phase 2 syllabus of 2023. SEBI regulations and rules were the new ones which were added in 2023. Criminal law has 30% weightage, corporate law 30% and securities law 40% weightage. Now the number of questions that came from each of these areas. Please pause here and take a screenshot. See, the weightage was clearly defined and the questions came from those areas. CRPC, IPC, evidence together, there were 22 questions from this area. Then Companies Act, IBC and LLP, 21 questions from this area. And from the rest of the areas, you had 40% questions, 27 questions. So you can clearly see how closer to the weightage the questions were and how important every topic of phase 2 is. Keeping that in mind, you cannot skip a single topic in phase 2. You will have to study phase 2 topics thoroughly, completely. You will have to practice MCQs, objective part for all the phase 2 topics. So I hope this video has given you some insights and will help you better strategize your preparation. Now if you look at the descriptive questions that came in 2023, there was a choice to attempt 3 questions out of 5. 2 questions were from Companies Act, one was with respect to quorum of public company and another was with respect to corporate bail. Then one question was for CRPC, warrant case and summon case, one was from evidence, any 5 types of evidence, and one question was from IPC, common intention in criminal law, explain using relevant provisions from IPC. So you can see there was no question from securities law or regulations, but this is not the same pattern which can be followed this time also. So I will not advise you to skip the securities regulations. I know there were less questions from securities regulations. If you can see, there was hardly 7 to 8 questions from securities regulations and no question in the descriptive portion from the securities law. But still, whether they will be there this time or not, this cannot be predicted. So you cannot skip any of the phase 2 topics. You can check out the level of questions using the previous year papers which are present on our website. You can download them from our website free of cost. For any queries, you can write them down in the comment below or you can reach out to us on this number. We at iExamBee help you prepare 50% faster with our crisp and concise content. Subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned. Thank you.